Psych! There's an episode 4.
And part 5. Gotta make sure it's confusing, mate.
Let's go back in time.
Rewind the clock.
To, May 13th. Yeah, we're playing as Biker now. Like, immediately after you finish Jacket Story, you play as Biker. And the only entire reason why Biker got into the whole entire 50s Blessing organization was because he was bored. So he thought, killing people sounds nice, let's go do that.
Well, I mean, there are people like that in the world, so I mean, it's not all out. I like the fact that there's... I like the fact there's a bike. I thought that was the entire level right there for you, so I was kind of confused.
Biker's gameplay style is also different. He automatically has his butcher knife, so he can't pick up weapons, but he has throwing knives, and he has 3 of them.
So he only has 3 throwing knives.
You can also tell that Biker moves a lot faster. Because that's the whole entire point, because you have to get up close with most of these guys unless they have guns. Also, if you throw a knife into a wall, you can pick it back up, but if you throw a knife into a dude, you can't pick it up. Like, the whole entire point of this bit right here, the final chapter, is just to see who is doing all the stuff with the 50s Blessing organization. Which, again, really isn't that explained well. But I think that adds to the charm of Hotline Miami, that you're not explained much of what's going on, and you have to look into it.
The music gets real creepy every time you finish killing people.
Yeah, it slows down.
Yeah. It's kind of eerie.
But as a whole, I actually really enjoyed the series. I like how you could see the little Steam update when it went to the different level. But as a whole, I'd say if they were on sale, because don't buy these games full price, especially if you're buying them on Steam, because you can buy them on PlayStation 4. But why would you do that? But don't buy these games full price, but I will say this is a definitely fun game series to play, because it's mostly just seeing how fast you can complete levels, and, well, you gotta listen to cool music. That's a plus.
You get to play games fast while listening to cool music. It's a good combo.
True.
But honestly, like, when you say you don't buy it at full price, I feel like the older I get, the less I feel is a game is worth spending money on, unless it's just really special. Most of the games I buy are on sale. I never buy stuff full price anymore.
That's the reason why I say buy it on sale, because for as small as this game is, it's not worth it full sale. Also, I didn't edit this whole entire part, so you'll see all these deaths that I didn't cut out, because if I did cut out all the deaths, this episode would be only like 5 minutes.
I'm guessing there's not very many biker levels.
Biker's whole entire bit of the story is very short. And that's because it's mostly an epilogue of just what is this organization and what do they do.
Man, they are wrecking your face.
I will say this chapter has my favorite music from Fun and Games.
Dude, yeah, it is really good. You have to use that for background music during something.
I would say the whole entire OST of Hotline Miami 1 and 2 has really good tracks in it. Like, give them a listen. They are worth a listen. I will say they're very techno and retro wavy. If I can use that as an explanation, if I can use that as a genre, retro wavy. But that's the point that they're going for. That's the point that they're going for.
Ooh.
Again, big rooms. There's dudes on the other side of the hallway, and there's a window so they can see you.
Well, he's just got a bat though. Ooh, no. Oh.
No, there's a dude at the end of the hallway where you see past that bat guy. There's a dude.
Oh no. That sucks.
Yeah, freaking dogs.
Man, I'm getting all tense every time you get close to an enemy. I'm just like, no, don't die. It's like
I said, Hotline Miami 1 is better than 2 because Hotline Miami 2 brings a lot of the flaws that Hotline Miami 1 has. Brings a lot to the forefront.
And basically tries to make it what it is selling point, I'm guessing. In a sense.
No, it's going against a way how Hotline Miami was designed. Again, bigger rooms.
No, like the bad points are what number 2 uses as a selling point. It's like, oh, you can use multiple characters. I'm sure. Like it has to be what it thinks is good.
Well, the whole entire multiple characters thing, I just think is not that great because it doesn't allow you, the player, to pick what playstyle you want, which is all about what the beginning half of Hotline Miami 1 is.
Well, I mean, what they probably did was they looked at the first one and they looked at your normal playstyle, and then when they had the little bit with the biker, and they were like, hey, we could kind of add more to this, and they probably just didn't do it right. It could have probably been done better.
Like, even though we're playing as a different character, it's not wildly... Well, it is somewhat wildly different, but it still has the borderline mechanics. Like, there's characters in Hotline Miami 2 that completely change the mechanics up. Like, there's one character in Hotline Miami 2 that can't use guns at all. And I'm not talking about Tony. There's one character that doesn't kill anyone, so you can't use guns at all. You have the soldier, who's really annoying because you can only use a set weapon. And you have to pick up ammo for it on certain set spawn points. You have the fact that a lot of the levels are big rooms, so nothing... You're not really going to see where enemies are going to attack you from. Like, a lot of the flaws that Hotline Miami 1 has been brought to the forefront in Hotline Miami 2. And that's my biggest gripe.
Sounds so creepy. I can't get over it.
That's my biggest gripe with Hotline Miami 2. It's just... Again, it's not to say that it's a bad game, it's just that the flaws are there. Like how I died all those times, yet I still got an A rank.
It's Jane. Oh, going on a date with Jane. Again, who's Jane?
A code name for the place where we have to go. Like, each one of those phone calls is a code, so we know where to go. We're back at Phone Home. Or Phone Home, if you want to say that.
E.T. Phone Home.
Phone Home. That's the reason why I like saying that. It's H-O-M, but I like saying Phone Home. You don't have to kill any of these guys except for the guy in the big center room, but I was just like, oh, we're back in the past, so I might as well set up the room how it was when we did this boss fight as Jacket. Because guess what?
Oh, wait.
It's time for a boss. It's Jacket!
But wait, if you kill him, then it kind of defeats the point, though, doesn't it?
And this is what I will say here. Hotline Miami is weird with its timeline because this event happened, and these two got into a fight, but both of them survived. And that's because you see Jacket on trial in Hotline Miami 2, but also in the front of the court, you also see Biker. Like, they both survived somehow.
So I'm gonna guess Jacket actually lost. I'm gonna guess Biker actually lost this because Biker seems more brutal, and he would have killed him.
That's why that's what I was about to say. It's just like it would have to make sense that Jacket would win, but Jacket didn't kill him.
Yeah.
And this is where we bring up the puzzle pieces. There are puzzle pieces in every level, and it spells out a password. That password allows you to get the true ending of the game. It's just that looking for those puzzle pieces is better to do on a New Game Plus run. And this allows you to see the true ending. Because if you go down here without knowing the stuff on the computer, you can just ask these guys 2 questions, but they won't tell you anything. If you look through the computer, you learn that they're ultranationalists trying to work to make America better, because they're weak. Because of the Russo-American coalition. What they do is that they call people and tell them to go kill Russian Mafia members, and they threaten them if they don't actually do that. But the fact is, that threat is just a placebo effect. They don't actually threaten anyone. Meaning, you can literally not do the job and they will do nothing to you. It's the threat of being threatened that makes people do the job.
So for like Jacket, were you listening to the janitors was the threats being used against you, or no?
Jacket and Biker, they still do the missions. They don't get threatened, but it's told that other members have been threatened into doing missions for them.
Gotcha.
And just like that, Hotline Miami.
And that's it. Huh. Definitely interesting. Yeah. Not much of one for story. It's not really built for story.
It's not a story game, but the story is there if you want to look for it. And
so what do you think of it, like, overall view?
Again, if it's on sale, I wouldn't buy this game full price, but if it's on sale, get it, because it's a callback to 80s top-down shooters like Smash TV, where it's ultra-violent and it's fast and it's furious. And it's also backed by one of the best gaming soundtracks ever. Like, check out Hotline Miami 1 and 2 soundtracks. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they are pretty decent. I feel like, for me, it's not completely my style of game. I did like Smash TV because it was a classic one. I couldn't see myself paying over $5 for this, but like that's just because it wouldn't be my initial interest. Not that it's a bad style of game. It looks very interesting, in all honesty.
Like it's the whole entire aesthetic behind Hotline Miami that makes it super interesting.
So what would you rate this on a 1 to 10 scale?
I think I'm going to use a modified scale, so let's say 10 and 9 are A. 8 is B, 7 is C, 6 is D, 5 and lower is F.
You're not grading it.
Well, giving it a rating is grading it, so I'm going to give it a grade scale. I'd say Hotline Miami 1 is A, so it's a 9. I'd give it a 9 because there are some flaws in Hotline Miami 1. And Hotline Miami 2, I'd say is a B. And that's because the flaws that were in Hotline Miami 1 are shown more in Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah. I don't know if I could give one that high. Maybe low B, high C. Like, I just couldn't give... Is this an indie game? Would this be considered an indie game?
Yes.
Not many small project titles like this, I feel, deserve the...
Interest you?
Well, no. A lot of them interest me. I just don't feel like they deserve the grace of being, they're just that amazing. It takes a lot to be a good game. And usually it takes a lot of backup throughout several game stories, you know. Like you think, for example, big name titles. Smash was a great fighting game. Street Fighter was a great fighting game. You look at story games. Legend of Zelda, you know, that's a series that's been going forever. Those are 9, 10 games. I couldn't ever give a indie title that's just a one and done a rating that high. Not that they're bad, but they're just not good yet. They could become that, just not yet. But yeah, definitely something of interest. Thanks for showing me.
Sure. You're welcome. And that ends Hotline Miami.